So I'm looking to deploy this simple architecture, and this is just to run a Windows virtual machine on Azure. Okay, so I've got my resource group here, and within my resource group I have a virtual network. I need to run a virtual network. Within that network I'm going to have a subnet and also a Bastion subnet that connects to my virtual machine. Obviously make sure I configure the security groups on each of these subnets, and a NAT gateway attached to this subnet for outbound traffic. And then also what I'm going to configure within the virtual machine is obviously the Windows OS. I'm going to have two disks. Okay, so just extra storage. I have one for storage and the extra just for extra storage here. Also configure this temporary SSD. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to set up now, so follow along. So yeah, I'm just going to keep this here on the side so we can just see what we're doing as we're going along. So I'm going to set up the resource group first, so that's the first main thing. So create your resource group. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the West US2 region because I've got the free subscription right now, so I think that's kind of the only region I can use. So I'm gonna say RG, let's just say this is for our prod account. So this is for production, US2, and this is the first iteration, so 001, next, okay, and that is done. Yep, and we've got our resource group created, so that's good. Now we need to set up our subnet, so that's what we're going to do now. Oh, sorry, virtual network. We need to set up our virtual network, okay, because the subnet is within the virtual network. So if we can get a virtual network going, okay, we've got our resource group ready, virtual network. So we're going to do VNet production US2 001. Okay, same region, that's fine. And then we're going to enable Azure Bastion. And then, yes, so we're going to have this Bastion VNet prod US2, so that's fine. Okay. That's fine. We've got our subnet here. Yeah, that is fine. Review, create. Let's go. Just wait for this to configure, pass the validation, and wait for deployment. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait for this to deploy. It might take a while, and yeah, I'll get back to you. So I was having an issue deploying my Bastion. I think that's because I've got the free subscription, so I might have to deploy it in a different zone. So I think I found out what it is. I think because I'm on standard, which is you have to pay for this service, so I think I need to do a developer, and I'm gonna have to deploy it in the UK South region. So let's review and create. Hopefully this should work. Okay, create. That's it. We are ready. We have our Bastion host ready. So now we can go and create our VM. Okay. We can create our VM. with our virtual machine, we're going to choose the resource group here. We're going to give our VM a name, VM prod US2 001. Okay. The availability zones. So I think I can only do zone 3. Then I'm going to choose the Windows server. Okay, and yeah, standard DS2 v3. That is going to be the chip I'm going to be using. Okay, on the VM. So this is the size. So my username, let's just do Azure user. And then I'm going to do my password, which is, okay, so let's just look at our inbound rules. So we're going to do RDP. Okay, RDP here, that's fine. Now let's look at our disks. So we have, this is the original disk. We have the temp redundant disk as well. Okay, SSD. Let's attach a new disk as well. So we want 2 disks here. So it's going to have data 1 and data 2. So let's do that. Yeah, empty disk. So leave that, that's fine. Yeah, let's just go for this one here, it's fine. Okay, we don't need to change anything here. So now we have 2 disks. We have our OS disk here. We have our temp redundant locally storage. Okay, I think there's 2, so we're gonna have another one. So let's add another disk. Okay, why not? So we've got 2 empty disks here, each 1 terabyte, so more than enough space. And then what we're going to do is we're going to review and create. Kind of networking. Don't need to do anything here. Let's review and create. Let's pass validation. And let's create our virtual machine. So yeah, if we go to our virtual machine now, and we can look at the data here. See, we have operating system, Windows. Okay, it's in 3 availability zones. It has a public address at the moment. Just want to see. Okay, so it's in our virtual network, okay, which is in the default subnet. Okay, so this is set up. We have our virtual machine in the subnet, which is in the virtual network. Okay, we have our OS disk attached to it as we configured before, and 2 extra disks for data. We have our Azure Bastion host set up. Now what we want to do is just check our network security group. Okay, go to network settings. Okay, so we have RDP, that's fine, that's the main one that we need. And if we go to our Bastion, we can see using VNet prod US2001 Bastion. So we can now connect to our virtual machine with Bastion, so that is fine. Now what we need to do is configure the diagnostic logs and log storage account. So what we want to do is go to storage. So create a storage account here. Okay, I'm going to give it a name. We can't put any hyphens within the name, so we're just going to put it all together in one big word. Hacks logs prod US2 storage. Okay, we're going to choose blob, and this is for, no, we don't really need this for that. Just going to put other, standard, review, and create. So once we set up our storage account, then we can then get the diagnostic logs to send the logs to the storage account, and we'll be able to see everything from there. Okay, so that is done. So now we can go back to our VM. Okay, let's go to our VM here. Okay, diagnostic settings, and see, now we have our storage account. We can enable guest level monitoring. So then this will send all the logs to the storage account. So while this is running, we can configure the last thing, which is the NAT Gateway. So we have a way of accessing the internet or accessing the virtual machine, but we need to connect out to the internet with the virtual machine, and we don't want to use our IP address. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove our IP address. Okay, so what we need to do, go back to the resource groups. Okay, okay, here we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, so disassociate. Okay, we can just disassociate it because we don't need it anymore. And what we're going to do, we're going to configure NAT so that we can access the internet. So let's search NAT. Just create a NAT. Okay, in the same resource group, we're going to call it NAT prod. Okay, and attach it to the default subnet, and then we're going to review and create. So our deployment has succeeded. So our NAT gateway is ready. So our VM is ready to send outbound traffic to the internet and then receive. And our diagnostics should be set up as well. So if we go back to our virtual machine, we can see that our diagnostic settings is set up. So we are now monitoring our VM and sending all logs and data to our storage account, or to our blob storage. So now if we come back, so what's left to do is literally connect to our virtual machine via Bastion. So we're going to put in our username, okay, and then our password, and let's connect to our virtual machine. Okay, so we're in, setting it up, and voila, here is our Windows server. So now if we just minimize this, okay, go to our file explorer. We just want to make sure we've got our disks that we set up. This PC, yeah, so this is our temporary storage. This is the storage with the Windows on it, okay, and then we just need to configure the extra disks. So if we go to create and format hard disks, disk management, so we have disk 2 and disk 3, okay, so we have our disk 2 here, which is unallocated. So just make a new simple volume, go through the wizard, next, 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 finish, and same over here, new simple volume, next, 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 next. Yep. So if we take this off now, you can see we have our 2 new volumes here, okay. And then last thing we want to do is just make sure we can connect to the internet. So we are using our NAT Gateway. So it seems like we need to configure something on our NAT Gateway. So as we can see here, it says your subnets do not have outbound connectivity at a public IP or public IP prefix. So what we need to do is add a public IP to our NAT Gateway, so that we can have some outbound connectivity. So click here, edit. So it seems like I can't create a new public IP, so I'm going to use the one from my VM. Okay, I'm just going to associate it to this NAT Gateway. So let's see if I can save that. So let's see if that is done. Just refresh. So now we have a IP address associated with our NAT Gateway. So now what we're going to do is go back to our VM. Okay, thank you. So now we should have some connectivity to the outside world. So let's press Google. As you can see already, we got things coming up, and voila. So now we can see that our NAT Gateway is working.